What's going on, guys? Welcome to another podcast. Gonna try to keep this one short and sweet. I'm on my own, so started off. If anybody wants to join the podcast next week, usually do them either. I prefer Wednesdays or Thursdays because that way waivers will have ran. We can talk about that. Um, yeah, all that good stuff. So, anybody wants to come on, please let me know. Um, yeah, and let's just get into. Sorry, I was looking at my team. Last week's matchups to start them off. And first, we'll go over Ben defeating me last week. Jaden Daniels getting hurt mid game, and then, 0.8 points from Devonta Smith didn't help. Good performance from Amon-Ra, but can't the A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts stack producing the 17 points from the defense. George Kittle, Nick Chubb, good game back. Really glad to see him get a touchdown. Obviously, in hindsight, should have started Kyler. Wouldn't have made a difference anyway. So congratulations on your win, Ben. Moving on to Becker and Tim. Tim, kind of the same thing. Jameson Williams, one reception for -4 yards, and he was so upset about it that he went and got himself suspended. Assuming PEDs, but you never know. He decided not to. He said that he basically doesn't agree with it, but he's not going to fight it, which, really, bro. Anyway, also hurt much by the Debo bullshit that they did. Thank the 49ers for that. Said he was going to play, and then all of a sudden he's on the sideline with a oxygen mask with pneumonia and later hospitalized. So, always fun. Yeah. Jordan Love had a good game, but not to Jaden Reed. Just bad week overall for Tim. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Not too great, but not too bad either. Obviously, right here is what you like, and then right there. So your running backs this week were, 60, 70 something points of your 138. So, yep. I don't know if you guys can hear that loud ass car. Somebody's been driving around doing laps in the neighborhood with their little rice cooker tuner car, pissing me off. Yeah. Anyway, also Jesus Christ. Javonte Williams on the bench, 26 points. So basically, whatever running back decision you decided to make that week would have worked out. So feels good, Becker. Let's go over our highest score of the week, I believe. Yes, by a lot. Well, not a lot, but by a good 10, 15 points. Tiffany defeats Kim. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's really freaking good. 5 touchdowns. You gotta love it. He does that from time to time. Brian Thomas Jr. looks amazing. Jahmyr Gibbs does Jahmyr Gibbs things. Achane looked better than he had previously, but you're kind of hoping more or less that Tua coming back helps that. Good game, Higgins from Ertz, and not so much from Deontay. Mark Andrews on the bench, scoring 2 touchdowns. You put him in the lineup next week, he'll put zip 0. So that's, yeah. Keon Coleman, my boy. Side note, I believed in Keon Coleman this year, so much so that I bought him in Dynasty, and it's not worked out so far. But good game here. Kim, good performance from Baker Mayfield, but he's now lost all his receivers. We will get into that in a moment. That's super sad. Justin Jefferson is Justin Jefferson. Good game. Garrett Wilson did all right. Najee did all right. Jim Connor did all right. Dalton Schultz. Jerry Jeudy and Christian Kirk, not real well. Rashad White did pretty good. He got the 2 receiving touchdowns, so that'll boost the points up there. And CJ Stroud, which granted you did not start him, but CJ Stroud looked terrible last week. And glad I don't have any shares of him. So congratulations, Tiffany, on your win. Moving on to Lance and Matt. Matt was another low scorer this week. Another 1 reception for negative yards from DeAndre Hopkins. We had the one with Jameson Williams. Now we got one with DeAndre Hopkins, so that's kind of weird. Chris Godwin got you some points, at least, before the sad thing that happened. Jared Goff did pretty good. Yeah, Chuba did okay. Kyron did. That's perfect for Kyron. And the tight ends let you down. -5 from the Jets does not help. I mean, you had Rashad Bateman. Would you have started him? Well, maybe you would have started him over Hopkins or something like that. But other than that, just kind of tough luck. Lance, good performance from Mixon. And obviously, good performances from Henry and Jones. Brock Bowers, the tight end whisperer himself. Good old Lance. Yeah. Not too much to talk about on the wide receiver front, but, I mean, if you've got, another 60-something points, just kind of like Becker, who needs wide receivers, right? George Pickens with 22 points there on the bench. You're expecting that Tyreek will slot back in here for Ayuk, which we'll talk about Ayuk also in a minute, and you're hoping for a lot more from Devontae Adams, but personally, Jets offense, not for it, but congratulations on your win, Lance. Jordan and... Okay, wait, what? Okay, no, never mind. Jordan Breadaway. So, Jordan got the win. It was a close matchup. Not a good performance from Matt Stafford. Not a good performance from JSN. But you got 22 from Kareem Hunt. Who would have thunk it? And Kenneth Walker is good. I love Kenneth Walker. Drake London had a pretty good game as well. Nothing to speak of on the bench. 0 points from Tank Dell hurts. Yeah, you got to think that Tank Dell's getting the bench treatment this week because he's mad that didn't work out. But another good running back tandem here with 40 points from Breece Hall and Josh Jacobs. J.K. Dobbins, 9 points, not bad. Harrison kind of underperforming. You got to, with Malik Neighbors doing the stuff that he's been doing this year, you got to hope that Marv is, going to slowly progress and be better next year, because at least for Dynasty stuff, I think I made the wrong decision getting Marv instead of Malik Neighbors. Pittman sucks without Joe Flacco, sucks with Anthony Richardson. We knew this. Ray Davis, only got the 11 points from the touchdown. You don't really count that. Patrick Mahomes looked bad, so you either got to start Sam Darnold or Patrick Mahomes. That's looking rough. But congratulations on your win, Jordan. So, briefly, let's talk about the 3 big injuries that happened this week. Chris Godwin. We'll start with the Buccaneers. Well, first what happened was Mike Evans. So he hurt I think it was his hamstring, hurt his leg. Was kind of like limping around a little bit, and he was in the end zone, and you saw him go down in a pretty big amount of pain there, and ruled out for the game. And he's not going on IR, apparently, because they think he'll be back in 4 weeks. And one of those weeks is the bye week, so you're probably going to be without Mike Evans for 3 weeks, and then a bye week, and then, does he come back full strength? You don't know. It's kind of a rough situation. The really sad one was Chris Godwin. I think there was like 40 seconds left in the game. Buccaneers were down by 10, so, you're on offense, down by 10, driving down the field. I understand why he was in there, but I don't know. It was just really sad. he immediately knew what happened. Pretty sure it was a ACL, out for the year. This was a contract year for him too, so he was, as he's being carted off. I didn't see this. Tiffany told me about it, that he was mouthing "my career's over" to somebody while he was crying. Sad stuff. Deshaun Watson, which, I mean, it's not a good thing that somebody got injured, but the other ones are much more sad than this. That's all I'll say. Deshaun Watson, Achilles tear, out for the year. The Browns fans are dancing in the streets. Brandon Ayuk, without Debo in this game, goes out and tears his ACL. This was another sad one. Sucks for 49ers fans. This dude holds out all offseason. Finally gets a big contract, and 7 games in, which, I mean, you got 7 games out of him, but, do the first 2 really count? I don't think he was in shape. Wasn't producing a whole hell of a lot this year, and now he's out for the year, so that sucks. And then my boy Jaden Daniels, rib injury, but not to worry. Mama says he'll be all right. If you don't get the reference, his mom on Twitter or something came out and said that he's fine and, no long-term damage. But I personally don't think he plays this week. So as you can see, Kyler Murray is in my starting lineup. So a couple of kind of league housekeeping things I wanted to talk about. The trade deadline is November 16th, which is a Saturday and is in roughly 3 weeks. So just reminding you guys to, if you're going to make your trades, you better start doing them now. Yeah. Anyway. And while we're on the topic of trading, please, for the love of God, check your trade offers. If you have one out there, don't let it sit for 3 fucking days. Anyway, moving on. Let's look quickly at the standings. So this is the standings right here. I'm pretty sure I've got it on share screen. Yes, I do. Yeah. 7-0 Becker. Tiffany a second. Jordan and Lance kind of tied for third here, but, points for is the tiebreaker there. So that's why Lance is ahead of Jordan and Ben is ahead of Kim and Matt. And I do want to, again, remind everybody because, somebody's going to be at the end of the year, oh, why is this happening? The 6th seed in the for the playoffs is, this year, the new rule is the Ben seed. The Ben seed means that the highest points for scored of a non-playoff team, which right now would be Kim, Matt, myself, Becker, and Tim, or not Becker, Bredeweg and Tim, the highest points for of these 6, or 4, 5 teams right here, I can't count, would be the 6th playoff spot. So if it ended right now today, I would be in the playoffs instead of Kim. When you go on Yahoo and you look right here, it says Kim is in the playoffs. But if it ended today, it will not be. I do think I will have to manually change it because Yahoo sucks. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I'm just letting you know. It's not necessarily all about wins and losses. Freaking Tim especially, and Bredeweg too, you guys are not out of it. If you have a couple of really big weeks, you could easily overtake me there, and you could finish with 2 wins on the freaking year. But as long as your points for is the highest of the remaining 5 non-playoff teams, you're in. You got that 6th spot. So just wanted to reiterate those things. Let's go ahead and get into, Fab. Click. Yep. So I'm just going to talk about the Fab offer stuff. There were some NFL trades, but I'm not going to talk about it. We all know. So Juwan Jennings goes for $23 with the two 49ers wide receivers out. Pearsall was also picked up. So Juwan Jennings, everybody's thinking is going to be the one. Tiffany gets him for 23. Kim just a little bit short on the bid of 18, and Lance a little bit shorter on the bid of 12. Pearsall goes for $5 to Matt, and Becker was short on that one. Tim picks up Jalen McMillan to potentially be the replacement for the Buccaneers tandem thing going on. Also has Debo, so or not. Why am I was thinking I literally saw Jalen McMillan and read San Francisco wide receiver. Anyway, I'm tired. I didn't. Yeah. Okay. Bear with me. No editing software. Here we go. And then the newest Kansas City wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, Breadaway, our local Chief Stan, gets him and bids 26. I bid 23. I did not receive DeAndre Hopkins. So, there was some other ones. There was no big, money ads. I guess Caleb Williams would be the next biggest one, $6 to Lance. So, I mean, it's worth mentioning, but not really worth mentioning. So, let's get on to the matchups this week. I like this screen a lot better. Me versus the undefeated Becker. Well, who's gonna win? I wonder. It's gonna be Becker. I'm going to start referring to him as chicken shit, though, because he's too scared to play Tank Bigsby, which, you're giving me shit, all this shit about Tank Bigsby, but you're going to sit him down this week when you essentially are fighting a man with one hand tied behind his back. But anyway, Cooper Kupp, the first quarter's almost over. No points, no catches, no nothing. I'm not mad about it. But yeah, I'm not even really going to talk about this too much. Becker's going to win. It is what it is. Let's move on. Kim and Tim, household battle here. Ooh, see, I haven't watched any of the game. I came in here and started getting everything ready and stuff, so I missed the entire first quarter of this game, and apparently Justin Jefferson is 5 for 68, so that's looking good. I'm going to try to look at this objectively as if I don't see the 11 points in one quarter from the Vikings god. So Mayfield doesn't look as good as he did a week ago. Garrett Wilson. New England's defense is actually not bad, so I think they're going to start Aaron Rodgers as being king of excuses right now. Oh, I'm hurt. I'm dealing with this injury. I'm dealing with this injury. My offense sucks. Everybody sucks but me. Yeah. I think they're going to start trying to pepper Devontae Adams a little bit. So I don't know how I feel about Garrett Wilson. I don't feel super great about it. Najee Harris against the Giants. Yeah, he'll probably get 10 points. James Conner against Miami. I honestly think that's going to be a good James Conner game because I think if Tua does play, I don't think they unleash Tua, like the full Tua right off the bat. I just don't. I think they kind of try their damnedest to protect him. Because imagine if he goes out in the very first game back, refuses to wear the Guardian cap, the league doesn't make him retire, and the Dolphins don't do everything in their freaking power to make sure that he doesn't get hit, and he gets another concussion. The NFL world would go freaking insane. So I think it's going to be a lot of running the ball on the Miami side, and I think that slows the game down a little bit, makes it more of a running game for Arizona as well. So that does favor James Conner. Cole Kmet, dude's going to score 20 points or he's going to score you 3 points. He had a 20-point week last week, I believe, or the week before that. So this is probably going to be another 3-point game. Rashad White, I like that you got the Baker thing going on. I really don't. Bucky Irvin's been getting the majority of the like actual running work, so I don't know how I feel about Rashad White. Um, they might pass it to him a little bit more now though because of not having Godwin and Evans. We'll see. Zach Moss. How has Zach Moss been doing? Because I'm pretty sure Chase Brown has taken over. I don't want to click on dude's picture. Yeah, I mean, he's getting a little bit of receiving work, but dude has been completely usurped by Chase Brown, I believe. I also think that, you know, Chase Brown's probably the more talented of the two. So I don't like the Zach Moss start there. Kansas City against the Raiders. Not looking as good as it was last week when it was Aiden McConnell or O'Connell or whatever. Now it's Gardner again. So I like that a little bit less. But it is still the Kansas City Chiefs, and they get all the flags. So they'll probably get a pick six or something. CJ Stroud against Indianapolis. I'm shocked that you're not playing CJ Stroud. I know what happened last week, but I don't. As a Colts fan, I'm shocked that you're not playing CJ Stroud against Indianapolis. But it's your team. Do what you want. Jacoby Myers, maybe he gets more production with Devontae Adams being out of there, but I don't think after the week one it did anything. Same thing with the Amari Cooper thing with Jerry Jeudy. You know, Christian Kirk has been a very big disappointment this year. Still don't understand why Dalton Schultz is on your team. And backup defense. So Tim, Jordan Love, Jaden Reed connection. I think that'll be pretty good in Dallas. Jordan Love has been a revelation this year. Sorry, I felt my voice about to crack, so I had to take a drink of water. I will say I do not like starting two different Green Bay wide receivers. Not a huge fan of that. I understand why you are doing this. You have no fucking choice. I'm just saying I don't like it. I mean, I'd rather try to get Mostert in there, or, I mean, obviously if Debo plays, you're probably playing Debo, but you still have to make that decision at noon or before noon on Sunday. You can't wait around to see. So, I mean, it's just kind of rough. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't play both. I'd definitely play Jaden Reed. I probably wouldn't play Romeo Dobbs. I'd probably put Sterling Shepard or Raheem Mostert in there just because Sterling Shepard's going to get some targets. Whether they're worth anything, who fucking knows. But probably definitely Raheem Mostert in there and then swap McMillan. Anyway, just going off of, I mean, I can't help but be a little biased here and see this. I think Kim's going to win. I think she's got the better matchups with JJ and James Conner. And then hopefully she'll probably see a Stroud. But yeah, so I'm picking Kim to win that one. Let's look at Matt and Jordan. Oh, I thought that said 35 rush attempts. I was like, no fucking way. Okay, sorry. I'm dyslexic. Jared Goff against Tennessee. Tennessee has a decent defense, so not super wonderful for Goff there. DJ Moore against Washington. I actually think that is going to be one of those games where, like, I don't know. I think Chicago's going to win, especially with Jaden Daniels being out, but I don't know if they're going to have to throw the ball. I don't know. I don't know what to fucking think about Chicago. I shit all over Chicago all fucking year. And as soon as I start shitting on them, they start doing good. I don't know. Caleb Williams is starting to look a little bit more competent. Maybe I just didn't give him enough time. I don't know. Anyway, Chris Olave without Derek Carr, that offense sucks. Chuba Hubbard against Denver, don't like it. Denver has a good defense. And maybe Jonathan Brooks is back this week. I'm not 100% sure. Reminder Stevenson against the Jets. You can run on the Jets, but, I mean, with what you're going to have to do, you're not going to be able to pass on them. So, Ramondre might be a sneakily good play there, but I'm still not expecting a whole heck of a lot. Kelsey versus the Raiders. There is a narrative that the Raiders always, or the Chiefs always score like a shit ton on the Raiders, and Patrick Mahomes has never lost to the Raiders or something like that, and all this other stuff. So maybe Kelsey, 2 touchdown game. If it was prime time, I'd say for sure, but I don't know. Kyron Williams obviously running the ball. He's got a receiving touchdown already. So with 2 receptions, 8 yards. Okay, so 12 points already. So Kyron's doing Kyron things, about to blow that projection out of the water. Keenan Allen, I do not like starting DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. I don't care if both of them produce. I would never fucking do that. I would bench Keenan Allen. I mean, I would maybe even drop Keenan Allen. I don't remember how well he's done on the year. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, I mean, he had the one really high target week, but then, he's about 5 receptions he's about 9 points every week. I don't know. I think you could do a lot better. I mean, throw Bateman in there. I know. I mean, I don't know why you're not. I know why, because Laporte has not been good this year. But I don't know. Moving on, Jordan, Dak Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb against San Francisco. Coming off of a bye, I'm hoping they got their shit together because they did not look good going into the bye. Dallas has been a major disappointment, so hopefully they can get their shit together. Drake London against Tampa Bay, love it. Kenneth Walker against Buffalo, I think he'll get to his projection here. I don't think he's going to have a major 30-point game. I have him in another league, so I would love it if he did, but don't think he will. I think he's probably 13, 14 points. Tony Pollard against Detroit. Yeah. Mason Rudolph at quarterback. Don't like it. You're really just hoping for receptions. I think this is a Dalton Kincaid week. I know I say that every other week, but I really do. Seattle's been almost the worst, maybe the worst against tight ends. So you got to hope for a Kincaid week. I would say Kareem Hunt fucking sucks and whatever, but every time I say that, there's a 2-touchdown game. So sure, Kareem Hunt's going to score 30 points. Maybe he'll actually only score 1 this week. I don't fucking know. And then same thing with DeAndre Swift. I shit all over DeAndre Swift. He's a terrible which I still believe he's a terrible running back. I just think he's getting a lot of opportunities and it's kind of working out. So DeAndre Swift, yeah. JSN's a disappointment. ETN is a big disappointment this year. I know it's because of injury. If I have to pick, who's the more talented running back on the Jaguars, 10 out of 10 times I'm telling you it's Travis Etienne. But so Puka Nacua was a late off of IR, so not gonna hold it against him. I think the news that I saw just kind of broke today about Puka being off IR, but he's already got 11 points, so I guess he's healthy. I'm going to pick Jordan to win this game. I think off the back of Walker, Kincaid, I guess Kareem Hunt and DeAndre Swift, and then I'm thinking maybe Dallas turns it around just a little bit. So I think that's going to be in spite of a huge performance from Kyron, so I just don't like a lot of the matchups over here, so I'm picking Jordan. Tiffany and Ben. Tiffany decided to start Jordan Addison and nobody from Ben's team. So Lamar Jackson against Cleveland. Love it. Brian Thomas against Green Bay. Green Bay's got a decent defense. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be... I think that's going to be another one of those games that's kind of a little bit lower scoring, so I don't know how I feel about Brian Thomas this week. I mean, he's either been big games or been held to, a couple catches. Yeah. Jordan Addison, I would have projected about 8 to 9 points, and he's 1 for 14 right now. So, yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs against Tennessee. I mean, you start Jahmyr Gibbs no matter what. Devon Achane against Arizona. I actually really like that. It's either going to be Mostert or Achane. One of them's going to have a I mean, it could even be both. This is one of the one teams in the NFL that I can actually do both. So I think one of them has a really good game. Zach Ertz against Chicago. I don't know how I feel about it. Chicago does have a pretty good defense. T. Higgins against Philadelphia. Love it. Philadelphia's defense sucks along with their offense, which their offense doesn't suck, but it's been a disappointment for what I think we all thought it was going to be. So, you know, but their defense for sure sucks. Like I do not take that one back. Their defense sucks. Deontay Johnson against Denver. That's probably a Patrick Surtain cover if he plays, and that doesn't look pretty. Plus Bryce Young's playing, so question marks all around. Maybe start Juwan Jennings instead. Don't know. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown stack against Cincinnati. I just said the offense has been a little bit disappointing for what we all thought and hoped it was going to be, but I still think that they produce enough points to not have to, you start them and you don't worry about it. Terry McLaurin's been a revelation, but that's been with my boy Jaden Daniels. So if Marcus Mariota starts, I don't really know how I feel about that against a good Chicago D. Not too thrilled on that one. Nick Chubb versus Baltimore. You cannot run on Baltimore, but you can throw on Baltimore. So don't really like Nick Chubb this week. Jonathan Taylor against Houston. I mean, I really don't even know what to think about the Colts offense. They can't throw it, so hopefully they can run it. I don't really foresee Jonathan Taylor getting anything above the 14 points. I think maybe he gets a touchdown. Not super familiar with the Houston defense, to be honest with you. George Kittle against Dallas. George Kittle's been amazing. David Njoku against Baltimore, I also love. Like I said, you can pass all day on Baltimore, but you cannot run it. So David Njoku is like the only decent, talented receiver in Cleveland, so that's nice. Mari Cooper against Seattle. Hopefully they use him more than they did last week. So TBD. Cincinnati's defense, playing the defense that's going against your own offense. A little bit of an odd decision there, but okay. I mean, I hope it works. I think he's being sneaky and doing this for future. But anyway. DK Metcalf, if he plays, maybe you slot him in there for somebody. I really do think he's going to do the double tight ends this week, and I don't blame him. I probably would too. But other than that, I don't think starting rosters are going to change a whole hell of a lot. And I'm gonna get a little weird here. I think Tiffany wins this one. I think this is a very, very close matchup. Judging by how it's gone so far, I think Addison doesn't do a whole lot. But I think you're going to have a really big performance from T. Higgins, a big performance from Achane, a big performance from Jahmyr Gibbs, and another really good performance from Lamar. I'm going to project over here that Taylor kind of busts a little bit, McLaurin busts, and I think these Eagles don't score as much as they're projected right here. So I'm going to pick Tiffany to win. And then last but not least, we've got Brett Aweg versus Lance, and we've got Sam Darnold versus Aaron Jones right now. Sam Darnold has 2 passing touchdowns, so he's looking pretty good so far. I need to hurry this up and get off here. 16 points from Sam Darnold so far, so cool. Tank Dell goosed last week but plays Indy this week. That's just the medicine he needs. Marvin Harrison, you got to hope he has one of his big games. Hopefully Kyler can hook up with him for a couple touchdowns. Only because I have Kyler Murray. Breece Hall, New England. You have to start him regardless of good matchup, bad matchup. Kind of same thing with Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs probably overperforms that projection. I think Breece Hall kind of underperforms it. So let's just say it evens out. Evan Ingram, I'm not really super. I know he's been good at times this year. I'm just not super high on Evan Ingram this year. J.K. Dobbins against New Orleans. As long as J.K.'s healthy, I think that's a really good play there. He looked a little. He started off the year pretty strong, kind of has trailed off just a little bit, and New Orleans defense sucks. So, Michael Pittman against Houston. As far as I know, Anthony Richardson is playing, so that could be 0 points. That could be 9 points. Who knows? But it's not going to be 10 points. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, do you play D Hop first game in on Kansas City? I wouldn't. I'd wait. I'd wait it out on the bench to see what happens there. And then for Lance, Brock Purdy lost both of his receivers. I think he's going to take a little bit of a dip in production. So, not too bullish on that. Dallas's defense has been terrible, but I think they come out kind of better than normal out of fresh off a bye week. So, not feeling too Purdy on Purdy. Stephon Diggs is fucking washed. I don't care what you say. I know the stats have been wrong at times, but Stephon Diggs looks terrible. He is the offense, and him getting touchdowns is the only reason this motherfucker is relevant. Stephon Diggs next year will be waiver wire fodder. Fight me. I don't care. Tyreek Hill with Tua back. You gotta hope it's got to be better than what it was without Tua. It cannot be any worse unless he goes out there and gets another concussion. Derrick Henry is the king of fantasy football, and yeah, I'm sad I don't have him on my team. Aaron Jones has 36 rushing yards right now. It looks more like they're passing the ball right now, and it's kind of how I thought this game would be. Two teams that really need a win. So, we'll see. Brock Bowers is the revelation here at tight end for the year. So, I think Kansas City sucks against tight ends too. So, well, it really doesn't matter, I guess, if you're the only receiving option in the offense. It is what it is. Joe Mixon is going to just devour Indianapolis. I can't believe 16 points is all they are projecting Joe Mixon for. Joe Mixon gets at the minimum 25 points. Minimum 25 points this week. You heard it here first. Devontae Adams against New England. I'm weird. I'm weird about the Jets offense right now. I just got a weird feeling. Yeah, so I understand you got to start him, but I just don't. Yeah. I'd probably put George Pickens in instead of Stephon Diggs, but you're kind of hoping with Nico being out that you can capitalize on those weeks where Diggs gets it instead of what would have been the work for Nico. You maybe also consider starting Caleb Williams over Brock Purdy because Washington's defense is terrible. I think the Bears will probably, especially if Jaden Daniels doesn't play, the Bears will probably get up to an early lead and kind of coast. So you'd think that would be bad for Williams, but I do think that Williams gets at least one to two passing touchdowns in the game. Purdy, I don't know. So, but I think Pickens against the Giants is also a pretty good matchup there. I would definitely, I won't say definitely. I would maybe consider putting Pickens in there for somebody, but anyway. And maybe Bucky Irving if he plays, but okay, he is trending well, so I don't know. I'm gonna pick Lance for this matchup. Just because, honestly, Derrick Henry and Joe Mixon. Literally the rest of his team could just have mediocre weeks. But those two players right there, I think, can carry him to a bullshit win over Ryan. Like, when I say bullshit, I don't mean like undeserving or anything because you drafted these guys. But Henry, Mixon, and Jones have just been insane this year. Lance didn't. There's no way you even expected this. None of us expected this at the draft. I mean, you had the team full of old heads, and here you are. So, picking Lance to win. And that's all I've got for this week. So yeah, if you guys want to join me next week, Wednesday or Thursday, I usually get home from work probably around 3:30. We don't have to do it in person either. You can join me on a Discord call. It's super easy. You literally just have to have a set of headphones with microphone on it and a quiet room, preferably. And we can have you on the podcast. So thank you guys for listening, and I'm going to go watch the rest of this game. Bye.